Hello everybody, who's ready for a review? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and the movie that I plan on reviewing today, The Gallows, which is a 2015 horror film that I just got done watching, and the plot. The plot of this movie is, it's a found footage movie, first and foremost. And you see at the very beginning, there was this play like 10 years ago where this freak accident happened where one of the kids in the play, the whole play was supposed to be this character being hung. But something went wrong, something broke, he got hung for real, and the kid died. So many years later, you see that the school is going to redo this play, and however, when these group of kids, for some reason, they go to the high school late at night, after hours, to fuck around, and then they get trapped in the school. And while that's going on, they start getting picked off one by one by this spiritual entity that might have something to do with that event 10 years ago. Now, what I thought of this movie was it fucking sucked. It sucked. It sucked. It sucked. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't sitting there and angry. I wasn't filled with rage the whole film like I do with some horror movies, especially nowadays, where you just sit there and you have so many things to complain about. I think the biggest crime of this movie is how dull it is, how boring it is, and how much you don't give a fuck about anything going on. Let's talk about the fact that it's found footage. Because, yes, it's found footage, and some people hear that and go, fuck this, I'm not watching it. There's too many found footage stuff out there, especially in the horror genre, and I don't blame you. It's rare, it's more rare for somebody to take the found footage thing and make it something fresh again, or make it something good again. More times than not, it's done because it's easy, it's cheap, and it's lazy. And this movie is the ultimate example of that. It's just lazy. These characters, you couldn't give any less of a fuck about them. I'm not saying the acting was bad, because honestly the acting wasn't bad. When stuff started to happen, when shit started to hit the fan, and they were being scared and emotional, I bought it. And I bought some of the characters crying or being hysterical and afraid. All of that I bought. But at the beginning, when you're setting up all of the relationships and all of the personalities of these kids, they're all fucking douchebags. They're assholes. I know that this is high school, and I know a lot of high school kids would fit this profile. Probably. But maybe I don't care about any of this high school stuff. About all of this juvenile stuff. About picking on the kid, the nerdy kid. Or this main kid, how he has the hots for this one girl in the play. I'm like, who cares? Who fucking cares? If this is all that we have to go behind, then there's really nothing here. And then when you find out that the group sneaks into the school late at night because they want to actually trash the play, it's like, well, why am I supposed to care about these people even now? Fuck them. So when stuff starts to happen, finally, it takes a long time for anything to happen, but when they start to get killed off, again, you don't really care. Let's talk about Charlie, who is the main villain. I remember the only reason why I was curious about this movie was because the commercials and the trailers did a fairly decent job promoting this. They didn't show that it was found footage, and they really sold this movie behind this Charlie character and how he was going to be the new iconic killer of the horror franchise. And, you know, they compared him to Jason, to Freddy, and how he has his noose, and he's just going to be something to really be afraid of. Bullshit. This Charlie character, there's nothing to him. One of the problems is that they tell you his backstory before you even see him. Before you see the Charlie character, they tell you everything about his backstory, who he was, and why he wants revenge. And like, you tell me all that before I fucking see him? There was a way where you could have presented him in a scary, mysterious way, and at the very end reveal it. But no, they did it the other way around, because I guess there was another reveal that they wanted to save for the end of the movie. Oh yeah, that was fucking worth it. So there's really nothing scary about this Charlie character, besides his look. I will admit that, and this is where the found footage thing really hurts it, because you only see the way he looks for maybe 3 seconds. I'll be nice and say 5, but even still, 5 seconds is not enough for me to legitimately say that he was scary. But the quick shot that we saw of him, he looked a lot like the Scarecrow from the Batman, not movies, but more so if anyone played the Batman Arkham Asylum, the first game. But it's not enough. It's not enough. And the backstory, the reasoning, the revenge plot, I was like, really? Really? I'm sure you're going to have people, teenagers, 14-year-old girls who are going to watch this and say, holy crap, this is so scary. Whatever, that's fine. I was that young once. I'm sure I thought things were scary, and they really weren't back then. But, so all of the atmosphere stuff, all of the, it's in the dark, and you have the shaky cam, and you have the dumb moments of the characters talking to each other, but they're still holding the fucking camera, they're running for their lives, or they're trying to get out of a certain area, and they're hysterical, but they're still holding the fucking camera. In fact, they'll face the camera on themselves and show themselves crying hysterically. I'm like, why would you take the camera, put it to your face, just to show yourself crying? Fucking idiot. But even with all of that, there was one moment near the end where I thought was pretty fucked up. The main character, like, he's running out of the school, because the whole time the doors are locked, the windows are locked, they can't get out. So there's one moment where the door's open, and he runs outside, and he's like, holy fuck, I'm free! Finally! I'm free! And he turns around to the girl who was with him, and she's not there. And he can hear her crying and screaming back in the school, and he's like, fuck, and he turns back, and he sees, like, the outside, it's right there, and he turns back, and he can still hear her screaming, and it's like, fuck! Do I really have to go back to probably die to try to save this girl that I like? Or should I go and save my own ass? That was one moment where I'm like, okay, at least here's a moment where a character has to make a difficult choice. If it was in a better movie, it'd be a lot more to talk about. But, like I said, I was watching this whole movie, and I was just disinterested. I was just kind of sitting there, not reacting, just kind of going like, okay, cliche, 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 generic, uninteresting. That's all that was going through my head until the ending. And when the ending happened, that's when I'm going to give this movie a fuck you! I cannot believe that they went with the ending that they went with. Not only was it contrived and bullshit, but just the last shot, the last scene of this movie. Fuck you, Gallows, you piece of fucking dog shit. You don't deserve to ever be put on anybody's TV screen, let alone movie screen, or computer online, which is how I fucking saw it. There was no way that I was paying for this bullshit, and even after not paying for it, I'm still pissed I wasted over an hour of my life watching this. Fuck this movie. Do not watch it. Do not watch it. But just in case you did see this movie before I was able to warn you with this review, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this piece of shit? Do you hate it as much as I do? Like, comment, subscribe. Later.